Hey everybody, it's Wednesday, December 9th. I'd like to read from the prophet Isaiah. He gives strength to the fainting, for the weak he makes vigor abound. Though young men faint and grow weary, and youth stagger and fall, they that hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar as with eagle wings. They will run and not grow weary, walk and not grow faint. And so God will give strength to the fainting, and for the weak he makes vigor abound. Oh, as this goes back many years ago, when I was in grade school, I think at the 6th grade, that's about 11 years old or so. My dad's brother, Uncle Willie, he lived in Baltimore at the time. And he finally was able to have a child. He only wanted his daughter Mary Ann. She was about 2 years old. He wanted a child for the longest time. Finally, he was able to have a child. Unfortunately, his wife took ill, very ill, in the hospital. He was working, so he couldn't look after his daughter, Mary Ann. And so he came up, we were in New York, and he left her with us, asked that we look after his daughter, Mary Ann. And boy, it broke his heart. He didn't know what to do. He was about growing faint and feeling weak. And so my mother said, why don't you go down to the church and ask for God's grace, God's help, and pray. Now, I may be a priest, but Uncle Willie was not a churchgoer. That I know. Uncle Willie was sort of living on the wild, bit on the wild side. Willie fits him well. So he wasn't one to go to church, but at this point he was desperate and lost. And so he went. I remember, he went down to church by himself. At that time, churches were open, and I don't know how long he stayed, but he spent time quietly in that church. And then he returned home, and he had to get back and take the train back to Baltimore. I'm not saying he was in perfect spirits. He still felt the weight of saying goodbye to his precious little girl. But he was better, though. Much better than before he went to the church. I think God touched him, and somehow he felt some sort of peace and God's strength. And that's what God offers us. Not that the problems will always be taken away, eliminated, erased. But God will give us the strength if we grow weary. He will strengthen us to do what we need to do. So trust in the Lord and turn to Him in your cares. God bless you.